Hi, this is Vikas Rajpurohit. In this video, we are going to solve our next query for our SQL project GoodCabs Analysis. So this is the fifth query. In this, it is asked that we need to find weekend versus weekdays trip demand by city. We need to get data by city, means we need to group by city. So what do we need to calculate? We need to compare the total trips taken on weekdays versus weekends for each city over the 6 months period. Identify cities with a strong preference for each weekend or weekday trips to understand demand variation. Okay, so here first we need to calculate total trips by weekdays and weekends. Then after we need to get difference between these so that we can identify the cities with the demand. Cities have demand by weekdays or weekends. So let's start our query. We have already written our query. So what all the information we need cities. So we have this city in this dim city name. All other information we have present here. And apart from this, we also need to get weekdays versus weekends. So this information is present in this table, dim date. So here we see date type. So we need to get date type this. We need to get information from this table, this, and this. So here we would need to join these three tables. So if I see here, we have this city ID, and here also city ID, that is common column. So we can join these. And here in the dim date, we have this date, and in facts we have this date. So we can join these by this column. So let's start writing our query. So I will just copy paste this query in from the previous query. Like we have already written this query here. So let me just copy paste this and modify. I will just quick fix the formatting. So here we need city name. Okay, we got the city name. Apart from city name, what other information we need? We need a day type and total trips. So we already calculate the total trips here. So we will take this as it is. Okay, and apart from this, we need to get the day type. So day type is present in the date in this dim date table. So we will just join. So we already joined this on this city ID. So now we will join date table on so I will just write dim date. I will just give alias as dt, and I will join on what column we are going to join. We are going to join with our fact tips. In that we have common column, that is date. So I'm just going to write f dot date. So I have okay, so let me just give this alias as f, not as d, and here f and f alias. For fact trips, I will just give alias as f, and for dim date dt. So we are going to join this fact trips f date on equal to dt dot date. So we are going to join this table on this date column. And what information we need here? From this table we need day type. So I will just simply write dt dot, I will just go to this table and just copy paste this field name dt, and I will just write as day type. Okay, so let me just quick run this and get that what we are getting. So also we are just going to join it by city name only, and apart from this we are going to use this also, because we know that here we are not going to use any aggregate function. Here we are using aggregate function. So to use the same column with select, we need to use that column in group by as well. So I will just run this query. And okay, so here we got the information that city name we have, then week type, this is weekend, this is weekday, and this is weekend, and we got the total trips. So I will just and apart from this, what other information we need? We need to compare this weekday versus weekend. So let me just quick write a city. Like I will just write city common table expression with city, nothing but just a name, just a table name. What table name we are going to give? I will just give a common name trip demand as okay. So here we have created or calculated this table, temporary table created trip demand. So what other information we need? We just need to create one another table. We will create another table, that trip comparison. Okay, so we are going to create this table as, so we know that whenever we are going to create multiple tables in the CT, so we do not need to use this with again and again, but when we are going to create new table, we just need to give comma here. We need to separate these by comma. Okay, and I'm just going to write, so what information we need from here, from I will just write select and from which table we need information here. We need info from this table only, trip demand. And in trip demand, what all the information we need? First we need city name, and then we will compare the weekdays and weekend. So I will just copy paste this city name. Now we need weekdays, and I will just write this as weekday and weekend trips. As we are going to give this column name as weekdays and trips. So how we are going to calculate this? Here we are going to here we have this table, so we will just identify whatever the weekdays by city, we are going to just group by city. So weekdays by city, we are going to count this total. So we are going to use sum. At what condition we are going to use sum? So we have condition that case when, so here what is the R condition? When R day type, so in this table we have already used this day type. So when our day type is equal to what it is equal to, first we are going to write for the weekdays, data type equal to same as it is this. So I am just going to write this weekday. Then what it is going to give answer. So whenever this day type is equal to weekday, we are just going to get this total trips. So I will just copy this and total trips. Else what is the condition? Else it will provide 0. Else we do not need anything, and we will just end our statement. And as this column name week trips. And for weekend we just need to copy paste the same. I will just fix the formatting. I will just use everything in one line only. Okay, this column, and again we are going to write the same thing for our weekend. So weekend, what it should be, here it is mentioned as weekend, so we just need to replace weekday with the weekend. Okay, so when day type is weekend, we are just going to count this total trips, and else it is going to give 0. And in this format, in this way we are going to get our weekdays versus weekend trips count, weekend trip count, and eventually lastly we are just going to group by y. I will just copy paste this and just need to close this. So let me just quick check what answer we are getting. I will just select all from this table trip comparison. I will just run this query. And okay, so we got data by our city name. For each city we got total weekdays and weekend trip count. So here now we just simply need to compare this. We are just going to differentiate weekdays minus weekend trips. So let's write our next query. So we are just going to write our final query here. So what all the information we need in our final answer? We need city name, we need this weekdays trips, we need this weekend, and here we are just going to write our condition also. Again we need to, here we are not just going to give a simple minus, like simple differentiation of. So here basically we need preference. We need to highlight preference. It is mentioned that identify cities with a strong preference for each weekend or weekdays trip to understand demand variation. So we need to mention here preference. So we are just going to write it in the way that we are going to give this column name as preference. At what condition we are going to give preference? For that we are simply going to use our case when trips are when the trips weekdays are greater than weekend, then it would be weekday preference. let me just simply write this case. when our weekday trip is greater than this weekend, then simply it would be, what would be our preference? Our preference would be weekday only. Again, we have another condition. We are just going to copy paste this. This is just the opposite to this. I will just write, when weekend is greater than weekdays, then our preference would be weekend. Okay, apart from this, what if the condition is equal, like our weekdays and weekend total trips is equal only? So else we are just going to give, write equal. So here we have equal preference only, and we are just going to end this case. And as, okay, and as preference. And we are just going to get this information from the trip comparison. Okay, and finally we are just going to order by trip. Order by preference. I used twice. I will just remove this. Okay, let me just quick run this query and let's see what answer we are getting. Okay, we got this. We actually did not use it trip difference. We did not apply trip difference. So I will just do this as trip difference. So this is the trip difference when, and this is the new column we are going to get this, and we need to compare this. Okay, so now we have weekdays trip, weekend trips, then we got the trip difference. And if okay, so here we got our trip difference as well and our preference. So we clearly see that here trip difference is, I will just short it by trip difference only, because from preference we are not getting any conclusion. So let me just quick write this. Okay, so here if I see that this difference is like weekdays and weekend, so here it is like weekend is greater than, we are getting result in negative, so obviously it would be like high demand on weekend, not on the weekdays. Okay, so that is all in this video. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more such videos.